prepared to deal with the situation when she was born. However, I would like to think we have made some progress in 18 years. Jill has had a horrible home life because we could not accept our responsibilities.
We both know that keeping her would have meant stagnating in a little town. While we tore each other to shreds, the results would have been exactly the same.
So we sacrificed her to get what we wanted. Well, we got it. We have arrived. What's wrong with helping her now?
I don't want to. No, maybe you've arrived, but I haven't. I have a future to realize.
Not if this got out. You wouldn't have a future at all.
Well, Harold, how do you feel today?
Worse. I don't care how much acid these things eat on TV. They stink.
Well, you're certainly in a nice foul mood today.
I got good reasons. Norm Elliott's one of them.
Relax. It's all been taken care of.
No, it has not been taken care of. He spilled the beans last night about Slaymaker. I just got off the phone from my contact at the police station not more than 10 minutes ago.
Harold, I repeat, relax. You don't have anything to worry about. Elliott has no idea why Slaymaker authorized the opening of that box. Besides, he has the only witness in the case right in the palm of his hand.
Yeah, his relationship with this Brooke isn't exactly what it's cracked up to be either.
Harold, there isn't a woman alive who can resist George once he starts making his promises.
Charles.
Harold, there is nothing to worry about.
Charles, she was at the police station this afternoon, too.
Oh. What did she say?
My contact didn't know. Only that when she came out of Brubaker's office, she looked pretty shaken up.
You know, George promised, absolutely promised me that...
George is a politician, too. I don't have to remind you about politicians and promises. His life is a bed of ruses.
Well, this certainly changes the outlook of things.
Well, your concern is touching. Especially since you're about the only person around here that's not involved in any of this.
Well, hardly. What about Nancy?
Well, no problem there. Just start shopping around for something fashionable in stripes.
I wonder if we can really find out whether what Brooks said was damaging or not.
George ought to be getting back to his office about now. I'm going to go over there and pay him a little visit. See if his canary did any singing.
I suppose you're wondering why I called you here this afternoon, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, yes, but I assume it's about Jill's charges being dropped. And I want to thank you for taking such a personal interest in her.
Personal involvement in my line of work can be very painful, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, that's all the more reason to thank you. I think it was because of your help that made all the difference to Jill.
Actually, it would have been impossible not to. I've thought of little else since I met her.
Oh?
I sensed that you cared, and I don't quite know how to say this.
Please, if I can help in any way.
It's was so long ago, almost forgotten, if one could possibly forget.
Forget?
No. I will never forget that I gave up my child, and that child was Jill.
Jill is your daughter? I don't understand.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand what it was like to be a mother. My career was very important to me.
Oh, the ambition of youth.
George and I weren't married, and we felt that what we wanted to do in life was far too important to be hindered by a mistake.
Does George know about this?
Yes, he's as indifferent to this news as he's been to me for the last 2 years.
Are you going to tell Jill?
I have to. But it shouldn't be rushed into. Jill needs stability, and that is something that the Cummings can offer her. I do not want to interfere.
Maybe this is the kind of interference that she would welcome. Why don't you give her that chance?
No. I think this is what's best for her right now, and for me.
I can imagine how difficult this must be for you.
Yes, it has been very difficult. But somehow, I feel like I'm being given a second chance. And this time, This time, it's going to be different.
Mommy, where's Jill been the past couple of days?
You already know, don't you?
Well, Peggy said she's in prison.
Sort of. She's in the city jail.
Then it's true. Neato!
Jenny, there's nothing neato about any of this.
Mommy, we know someone in the slammer.
Jenny,
Oh, I bet the feds stabbed her.
she was arrested for stealing.
Wow. Did she put up a fight?
No, honey, she was very terrified by the whole experience.
I bet she wasn't. I bet she showed him.
Jenny, now stop it. This is a very serious matter.
Oh, Mommy, it's exciting. I've seen enough TV to know that.
Tell me what's exciting about it.
Everything. They took her fingerprints. They took a picture. I bet she even has her own number.
Jenny, all that means is the rest of her life, a lot of people are going to think of her as a criminal.
Oh, Mommy, Jill's tough. She can take it.
Jenny, you have no idea what jail is really like.
Oh, sure I do. You sit around and play games. You watch TV all day. It's better than school. Hey, I wonder if she's planned an escape yet. That's the best part.
You can't escape.
Can too. They do it all the time in the movies.
Honey, the movies aren't real. Now, I've been to the jail. It's dirty and smelly and full of a lot of people who can hurt you.
Mommy, Peggy and I discussed it. I know all about it.
Honey, you're both little girls, and you shouldn't make up stories about things you don't understand. Now, next time, you ask me first.
Okay. I'm gonna go back out and play now. All right? Come on out, Rocky. Got you covered. Bang, bang, bang! Gotcha! Bam! Bam!
I certainly am glad you're taking this so calmly, Harold. I got more important things to do than to entertain you two this afternoon.
You will entertain this thought, George. If Brooke talked this afternoon, the most important decision you're going to have to make is what to wear to your sentencing.
Well, we discussed everything last night, and she is eager to resume our relationship.
Great. I'm real happy for your love life. What did she say to Brubaker?
Well, she didn't say exactly.
Well, why? What happened?
I'm having some trouble locating her.
You what?
Not to worry.
Hey, look, does anybody know what happened with Brubaker?
My friends at the precinct say he's a little tight-lipped about this.
You know, I think a solid colored tie would be most appropriate in court. Or a subdued stripe.
Hey, look, have you heard from her at all today?
Well, she stopped by earlier.
Why didn't you say so before?
I wasn't actually here. Vince was.
Yeah, and?
He said that she seemed a little uneasy. It's understandable.
How uneasy?
Well, fairly. You know how Vince can be.
Yeah, I do. Our friend Mr. Cardello may be a lot of things, but a poor judge of character isn't one of them.
Yes. He's always had a lot of lovely things to say about you, Harold.
Yeah, and you too, Charles.
Hey, look, will you stop it? Now, the more I hear about this mess, the less I like it.
Oh, this is all
Now, just a
relatively
second.
it's
If
unimportant.
she is as uneasy as Vince said that she was, then there's a good chance she did talk this afternoon.
She didn't say a thing.
I'd like to see just one fact that substantiates that, George.
Well, I don't need any proof. I trust her.
Oh, that's great. You trust her. You love her. You just can't.
I
find
told you, it's all relatively unimportant.
Look, it would certainly make for a little bit of peace of mind.
Maybe she's in custody.
Oh, you think this is all a big joke, isn't it? I mean, if George and me end up behind bars, you get more control over Hollister Mall, isn't that right?
Oh, come on. This is all a tempest in a teapot as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's what Custer said.
Harold, you're going to give yourself an ulcer.
Well, I'll name it after you. You know, you don't fool me one bit, George. You're just as worried about this thing as I am.
Nonsense.
I don't understand why you couldn't just tell Brooke the truth and ask her for help.
Harold, you never tell a woman the truth. Once you do, you have to continue to make her happy.
I don't think any of us here is particularly qualified to expound on what makes a woman happy.
Because nothing makes a woman happy.
Harold, just because your romantic involvements are sporadic and just unsuccessful altogether doesn't mean that mine are. I can make Brooke happy. And that'll ensure her silence.
It's beginning to sound like a locker room in here.
Well, if that's the way you feel, get out of here. I've got business to attend to.
Well, George, this has certainly been very pleasant. We must do it again sometime.
Yeah. Hey, you call me if you hear anything at all. I don't care how unimportant you think it is.
Yeah, well, I will. And Harold, someday we're going to sit down, and I'm going to tell you how to handle a woman.
That's great. We're going to have plenty of time to kill as cellmates.
I hope these visits of yours aren't going to become a habit.
George, we are facing a real problem here. You can't just sit there and pretend your daughter doesn't exist.
Well, she doesn't, not to me. That's what my decision was about 18 years ago.
Your decision is alive and well and living in Kingsley.
I am under incredible pressure. I don't need any of this.
I don't see that we have any choice.
I'm choosing to look the other way.
You have just earmarked your political career.
Too cold-blooded for you? I'm not going to pretend I've got emotions that I don't.
Not even for your own flesh and blood. What do you reserve your emotions for?
Very little. I don't like personal involvement. It's messy.
Oh, interesting choice of words. I said the same thing not too long ago, but I came to a different conclusion.
I applaud your charity.
And I hate your apathy. Neither of us was prepared for the situation when she was born. But I'd like to think we've made some progress in 18 years. Jill has had a horrible home life because we would not accept our responsibilities.
We both know that keeping her would have meant stagnating in a little town while we tore each other to shreds. The results would have been exactly the same.
So we sacrificed her to get what we want. Well, we got it. We have arrived. What's wrong with helping her now?
I don't want to. No? Maybe you've arrived. But I haven't. I have a future to realize.
Not if this got out. You wouldn't have a future at all.
I know. That's why I've decided.
That's why you choose to look the other way. Oh, stop. She is a part of us.
That part of me died a long time ago.
But it doesn't have to be that way.
Oh, yes, it does. What is this girl to you, anyway? She's some kind of a tool, a pawn, a vehicle for our reconciliation? Is that your secret hope?
I got a note from Marcy Fisher the other day. Roger is kicking off his re-election campaign with a barbecue. They invited us down for the weekend. I
Yeah,
thought
well, obviously, we're not going to be there.
Obviously. Well, I guess it's time to make it official. I'll give my lawyer a call in the morning.
You know, these things always take so long.
They do it on purpose, to let you know who's in control.
I waited 7.5 hours once
Where?
in a police station while they decided what to do with me.
What?
A group of us were brought in when an anti-war protest got out of hand. See? I'm not the homecoming queen all grown up.
Well, you're not exactly a hardened criminal either.
True. And neither are you.
I guess lifting a couple of bucks worth of makeup doesn't exactly put me on the 10 most wanted list.
In the end, they let us all go.
And she lived happily ever after.
Hardly. I had my days on the road, too. Mostly in San Francisco, but you know what I mean.
It's a wild town.
Not half as wild as it used to be.
Sounds like a blast.
We had our moments.
It's still pretty wild. I had quite a ride there. I've had some nice times in the last couple of years.
You know, Jenny thinks this whole incident with you in jail is very exciting.
Yeah.
She looks up to you even more.
Kidding?
She thinks that you're too tough to let any of this bother you.
Well, she's right. Jenny's a great kid.
I'd like you to do something for her, Jill.
Sure, you name it.
I'd like you to tell her just how terrifying this whole thing was. How wrong you were to do it and just how scared you were.
And let Jenny think that I'm a chicken? A loser? No way.
Jill, don't you see that if you don't, she'll always look at this as something glamorous? You and I have been through it. It's cheap and degrading.
Jenny is the first person that liked me and respected me. If you think I'm going to do anything to change that, you're wrong.
Perhaps she's still wearing a number on her chest.
Jenny, remember when I was in jail and I told you how awful it was?
Yes, sir.
Well, I think Jill's going to tell you the same thing.
Oh, Daddy, Jill's tough. She can take it. She's going to tell me how she didn't let it get to her.
Oh, yeah, I'll bet.
They're here, Daddy. They're
Now listen,
here.
be polite and don't say anything to hurt her feelings or offend her, all right?
Okay. Jill.
Hey, shortstop.
Hey, you're a real jailbird now, aren't you?
Jenny. Jill, I'm glad you're back.
Thank you.
Come on, I'm not supposed to ask you any embarrassing questions.
Nothing embarrasses me.
Well, I guess I better get dinner started.
Oh, you don't have to. I already did all that. Let's go in. Sit down. Relax.
Well, I need you to help me with something, okay?
Oh, all right.
It's nice to have you back, Jill.
Hey, tell me about how you play in your skate.
What?
Your escape, silly.
You're goofy.
Hey, did you get fingerprinted?
Yeah.
Wow, and did they book you?
They threw the book at me.
But you were tough, right? You told them that you weren't a coward, right?
They know Jill Henson's not afraid of anybody.
I knew it, I knew it. You're the best, Jill. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna be just like you.
What?
I said I'm gonna be just like you.
Come here. Sit down. The truth is that, being in jail, well, isn't the most fun I've ever had. In fact, well, it wasn't fun at all. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Well, it's not like the movies and stuff. Jenny, I lied before. I was scared. I know you think I'm tough. Well, I am tough, but there's a difference between being tough and being stupid. And let me tell you that, well, most people in jail are just being stupid. I missed you.
I missed you too. You know what? I like it when you're not so tough.
Come on. Come on, Brooke. Where are you?
Working late again, George.
Brooke, I was just trying to... I'm glad you're here.
I'll bet.
I guess it's best we try to talk this out now.
No, that time came a few days ago when I was sitting here elated because I thought you were still interested in me.
I was. I am.
For your reasons.
Brooke, if you think I was being dishonest, I cannot stop you from confirming Norm Elliott's story.
Don't try to bluff me.
I wouldn't with all that's at stake.
George, they're threatening me with a felony charge, and I only did what you asked.
Well, you did it well. If you deny Norman's story, we're all safe. That's a nice-looking outfit you have on.
You know what this reminds me of? When I was a kid, I had to stand between my father and the television set to get him to notice me. Well, now I've got your attention because I'm between you and a prison sentence. Flattering.
I noticed you before this nonsense came about.
Oh, stop it. You'd forgotten me for weeks.
All right, all right. I have already had one speech this afternoon by one self-styled moralist. I don't need another monologue on betrayed love.
What's that supposed to mean?
That is supposed to mean that initially you saw in me the wealth and power that this office holds.
George, you're only the county commissioner.
Who is on his way to the top, and you know it. Besides, even where I am, I can beat out these grocery baggers and branch managers you've been entertaining.
The love I had for you was pure. And if you would just once see beyond your own motives and stop assuming that everybody is as self-seeking and deceitful as you are.
Then I would leave politics and enter the mission field. I'm sorry, I just don't buy it, this whole broken-hearted I've been used routine. It doesn't play with you. I don't buy it. Brooke, honey, this afternoon, Beth and I were talking about our divorce. You are very much a part of my future. I'm not an idealist. That's all I've got to say.
If I confess, you won't have a future.
What would that prove? Who benefits there, Brooke? Brooke, tell me that you have not and will not tell Sergeant Brubaker anything.
I haven't yet, George.